You guys have been asking for this nonstop for a really long time. It took me a while, but I finally found 3 creepy true stories from school lockdowns that actually happened during a lockdown. It was just a normal, boring day in calculus class, except it was Friday 7th period. That means the week was almost over and everyone was getting restless, waiting for spring break. I could totally feel the energy in the room. We didn't have a test that day like some of my friends did with their other teachers. So, our teacher, who was super laid back, decided to play some games with us on sporkle.com to pass the time. We were doing some brand logo quiz, and I remember the exact moment everything changed. Right after my friend answered a question, I even remember the answer, Adidas. The dean's voice suddenly came over the loudspeaker. He sounded panicked, almost frantic, telling all the teachers that this was not a drill and that we needed to go into lockdown right away. I got chills, real goosebumps, because even our usually relaxed teacher looked scared. He ran to turn off the lights and quickly moved us to the back corner of the room. We all sat there in silence for a couple of minutes. Then, the usual buzzing sound from a panel at the back of the room stopped, meaning the school had cut the power. We all looked at each other, realizing this was serious. After a few more minutes of waiting, we heard a man screaming at the top of his lungs down the hallway. 2 girls in the class started crying, which made all of us even more scared. As the screaming got closer, the man started banging on the lockers, yelling, "I'll kill all of you." That's when I started to really fear for my life. Our teacher shooshed us, and we all just looked at each other, trying to figure out how everyone else was reacting. The banging moved from the lockers to our classroom door. One of the crying girls screamed, "No!" The pounding on the door got worse, and the man was yelling, "Open up!" 2 girls were crying out loud by then. It felt like forever that he was pounding on the door. But finally, he moved down the hallway, screaming like a madman until we couldn't hear him anymore. I'd say about 10 minutes later, though it felt like half an hour, the dean came back on the loudspeaker and explained what happened, which was surprising because he usually didn't say much during lockdowns. He said a mentally unstable man had entered the school and attacked the woman at the front desk, causing her to run out screaming. Staff weren't sure if the man had a weapon or not. Now, this was before our school had cameras or proper security, so the building was pretty much wide open for something like this to happen. The staff searched all the hallways and classrooms but couldn't find him. So, the dean told the teachers to resume class but to keep all doors locked and not let any students leave for any reason. The most disturbing part was that a janitor working the night shift found the man sleeping in one of the storage closets near the back of the school. According to rumors that spread around my school, sticking out of his pocket was a .44 Magnum. The janitor must have done something wrong, like maybe leaving the closet door open, because by the time the police arrived, the man was gone. As far as I know, my entire class still doesn't know if he was ever caught. But I'd like to think that right now, he's finally getting the help he needs. My school has 2 lunch periods. The first one is for all 6th graders and some 7th graders. The second lunch period is for the rest of the 7th graders and all 8th graders. The lockdown happened in early October. That day was overcast and rainy. During the first lunch, I heard 4 loud booms. At first, I thought it was thunder. But then, everyone in the lunchroom started screaming. At first, I thought they were just being scared over nothing. But then, campus security rushed in, yelling for everyone to get into the multi-purpose room immediately. Kids who were standing in line buying lunch had to throw away their food and come inside. Me and some friends followed along with a big group of other kids. Everyone was wondering what was going on. The multi-purpose room is huge, and the back wall is made of see-through glass. When we were rushed inside, campus security covered the glass with curtains, and adults guarded every exit. My friend Eric was curious, like the rest of us, so he asked one of the adults what was happening. When he came back, he told us, "You know those houses right in front of TMS?" I said, "Yeah." He said a mentally unstable man had barricaded himself inside his house. He was threatening to kill himself and the cops if they tried to get him out. Eric added that the man had been walking around outside the school, watching kids in a strange way. Later, we found out the man was a registered sex offender, which made everything worse. We were stuck inside the multi-purpose room for a whole hour, which covered 2 lunch periods. After the lockdown ended, we were escorted back to our classrooms one by one. I later found out the man lived right next to my friend Brandy. She told me about the Halloween before when she saw him at his window. He was cutting his arm and writing on the glass in his own blood, "Don't come here or I'll kill you." Since it was Halloween, people thought it was just a creepy prank. But after that lockdown, we all knew this man was seriously dangerous, and we were thankful he never got close to the school. I'm 22 years old, just fresh out of college, and I recently got a job at my old high school as a computer intern working down in the school basement. The basement is pretty messy and disorganized, but there's a small office for 3 people that's actually really nice. It's got 3 big desks, 2 mini fridges, a flat-screen TV on the wall, and the best part, air conditioning. Something the rest of the school doesn't get to enjoy. Plus, all the school servers and computer equipment are down there. I got this job because 3 of my old computer teachers really liked me. I could actually call them friends, not just teachers. They helped me get the job. It had been going great until something happened a few weeks ago. My 2 co-workers, Dave and Gary, who share the office with me, weren't there at the time. They were upstairs working on some papers or something. I was eating my sandwich during lunch when I got a call from a woman in the front office. She told me the school was on lockdown because someone, maybe armed, had gotten inside. There wasn't much I could do except turn off the lights. The office doesn't even have a real door, just a big open doorway. The basement door itself didn't have a working lock either. For my own safety, I turned off all the lights in my computer screen. I kept my phone on the desk and texted both Gary and Dave, but no one replied. I sat there in the dark, playing games on my phone for about 20 minutes, waiting for the all clear to resume work. I had no idea what was happening upstairs and couldn't hear anything from down there. I wasn't allowed to make any calls until I was told the lockdown was over. Then, suddenly, the basement door creaked open. The sound echoed all through the basement and into my office. I sat up, wondering if I should call out to Gary or Dave to get some info. Someone started running down the stairs, their footsteps getting closer to my office. I pushed my chair back and crawled under my desk. The person entered the office but didn't turn on any lights. There was complete silence. I can't even explain how terrified I felt. I thought if I made one wrong move, I'd be dead. Then, my phone dinged with a new text message. My whole world shriveled up in that moment. I clenched my teeth, frozen with fear. The footsteps moved closer. Finally, I jumped out from under the desk, begging whoever it was not to hurt me. That's when someone grabbed my arm and pulled me up. It was a guy wearing a red plaid shirt, jeans, and a reddish-black cap. He said, "It's okay, I'm just hiding down here with you." I whispered, "What's going on upstairs?" He kind of ignored my question and asked if there was an exit down there. I told him, "Yeah, just around that way." Before he could do anything else, I asked, "Who are you?" There was a brief silence. Then he explained he was coming to pick up his son when a teacher told him to hide. After he finished, I checked my phone again. The text was from Dave. It said, "Dude, this is crazy. Some guy with a gun shot Mr. Buckley. He's wearing a red shirt and a hat. Whatever you do, don't come upstairs." I was about to read the text out loud to the man until I looked up and my stomach dropped. He noticed my suspicious stare. I panicked and all I could think was to run for the stairs. A gunshot echoed through the basement. I heard the bullet ricochet off something metal in the dark. Thank God it missed me. I made it upstairs as fast as I could. Luckily, police were waiting at all the exits, including the basement door. They caught the man the second he opened the door. More good news. Our teacher, Mr. Buckley, survived the gunshot. Later, it was found out the man and Mr. Buckley had some sort of disagreement, but no one ever learned the full reason why. All we know is Mr. Buckley hadn't done anything to deserve that kind of reaction. And I know that gunshot will forever echo in my mind.